So Christmas morning, it's finally here, and in our manger here, we've got a little present to unwrap. So I wonder if someone could just come and grab this present and wrap it for me. Yeah, let me come. Brilliant. Lovely. Can you just see what is in there and hand it to me? Brilliant. Thank you. Is that what you want for Christmas? No? Oh. Okay, well, see what you get later then. Thank you. Go and take a seat. That will become apparent later. We've got a running light that goes over your chest and your back. Apparently, I've never used it. I don't like running. So after all the waiting, preparing, pointing, and welcoming the light, which is what we've looked at over the last 4 weeks, we're finally here to celebrate Jesus, the light of the world. John's Gospel says, the true light that gives light to everyone has come into the world. And as we've been waiting and preparing and pointing and welcoming the light, we've been using some verses from the prophet Isaiah, who wrote 700 years before Jesus' birth. And he said, arise and shine, for your light has come. And so before we go any further, I just wanted to see what time people arised and shined this morning. So what time? Was anyone up by 7 a.m. this morning? Lots of people. Okay, let's go further back. Anyone up at 6:30 a.m.? A few people. 6 a.m.? Okay, anyone up at 5 a.m.? A few up at 5 a.m. Okay, we're going to go back. 4 a.m.? Really? 4 a.m.? What time did you get up? 2:58. That's very precise. Anybody beat 2:58? Does it count if she went back to sleep? It's Christmas, why not? 1:50. Well, there we go. It's hard, isn't it, to arise and shine, particularly for parents. Now, if we can arise and shine that early at 2:15 in the morning, be excited for our presence, how much more should we arise and shine because of Jesus' presence with us? You see, the presence is the medium of love. God's presence with us is the medium of love. And this is what John is saying in his gospel. Isaiah says, arise and shine, get ready, because although darkness covers the earth and thick darkness is over the peoples, the Lord rises upon you. His glory appears over you. He is coming. And then John, at the beginning of his gospel, in words that echo that prophet, says, the true light that gives light to everyone has come into the world. He shines in the darkness. He's come to us, he's made his home among us, and now we have seen his glory. Now, it's not a light that's somewhere up there far off. It's not a light up in the distance. It's a light that is here with us. Not his glory somewhere up there far off, but here with us. It's not a God who's distant and a long way off and inaccessible, but a God who loves us as a perfect Father, who is present, who is with us. What does this mean? Well, let me put it like this. Anyone like walking here? Anyone go on walks? Maybe in the Peak District or the Lake District? Yeah. Well, I remember several years ago, me and some friends, we were on a sponsored night hike in the Peak District, raising money for a charity. I don't like to talk about my charity work, but I do it. Now, it was in the middle of summer, and we knew the area really well. I grew up on the edge of the Peak District, so we knew this area really well. And I remember the route took us up onto an edge, and the marshal, who was the steward who was on the path, told us that the path continued along the tops before then taking a right fork down into a village. But we were all 17, we were invincible, we knew everything. None of us really listened carefully to the marshal at all. And so we set off, and by now it was pretty dark. And though there was some moonlight up there, it was also pretty cloudy. And then down in the valley below, we saw some lights of a village. And so we were confident that is where we were meant to be heading. And so we just kept following these lights. We seemed to be bearing right, so we were oblivious to the fact that actually we'd missed a small fork in the path with a right hairpin turning us onto another path. Being 17 and invincible and knowing it all, we realized about 4 miles later, as we arrived in the village that we were heading to, that we'd headed to completely the wrong village. There was no marshal there, no check-in station, and it took us a while to realize we'd arrived at the wrong place, much further down the valley than we needed to be. And as we were in darkness, the moon, the light from the moon was way up there, and we tried to find our way using its lights. The lights of the wrong village were off in the distance, and we tried to find our way by them. But what we really could have done with, and what we really needed, however, Vicky, could you just come and work this contraption? What we really needed wasn't a light all the way over there, but a light that was, do you want to put it on? No, go on. Okay, well, there we go. What we really needed was a light right with us, something like this. You can go and sit down now because you feel embarrassed yet. What we needed wasn't just a light in the distance. We needed a light with us that would guide us in the right way, that would show the path we were headed on. What we needed was a light by which we could see exactly where we were, know exactly where we were headed, and walk on confidently and safely with peace. And you see, Jesus, the light of the world, arrives not in some far-off, detached place, but is born into a normal, crowded, welcoming home in the middle of warmth and chaos of a busy town, in a full household to a loving family. And time and again, Jesus is close. That's what love does. It draws near. Presence is the medium of love. And just as Isaiah prophesied, many would be drawn to his light. As we go through that Christmas story, we see all kinds of different people in all kinds of different starting places, but each one arising and shining and discovering and encountering the light of the world. Isaiah, in that passage, even prophesies that other nations will come on camels with gifts of gold and incense. You see, the light isn't out there. The light is here with us. Emmanuel. Not merely God calling us, or God guiding us, or even God for us, but God with us. You know, there's thousands of examples of babies becoming kings, but only once has the king become a baby. And the message of the incarnation is that Jesus is with us. The light of the world, the King of Kings. He came to be where we are. And so this year, in the middle of our chaos, our confusion, our joy, our grief, Jesus comes and meets us in it. And we can look to so many apparent sources of light to guide us and set our paths. And the truth is, as convincing as they may look, and as much as for a little while at least, they may make us happy and secure, all of them are a mere shadow compared to knowing the light of the world. Jesus with me and in me. And so the invitation of Christmas is to all who receive him, to those who believe in his name. He gives the right to become children of God. And so this morning, this Christmas morning, arise and shine, for your light has come. The glory of the Lord rises upon you. Your heart will throb and swell with joy.